Hey guys, today we're going to run through our newest addition to Output, which is the coaching permissions. So coaching permissions, again, a really useful tool to be able to add in. Main priorities of it is of course to be able to split coaches into specific groups or to specific athletes in this case within their groups. And it just means that if you've got an organization with, hundreds upon hundreds or tens upon tens of athletes and you wanted to distill it down and certain coaches are only coaching specific athletes or groups, it just makes it a little bit easier for everybody in this case. In terms of navigating to it, very simple. So it's just going to be located in the settings in here. At the moment it is not there, so I'm just going to locate to the page. And what you'll see here is the said coaches for our organization. So you've got the name, email, and assigned groups. And if I want to create a coach, it's really simple. Press the create coach button. I'll have a very similar looking format to creating an athlete. So I give it a name, I give them an email address, which is mandatory, and then I assign them to a specific group. Okay, and the groups are based off of the groups that you've already pre-created in that group hub. So just make sure that you have your athletes split into your groups, your teams, your positions, whatever the case may be. Populate the name and the email address, and once you've done this and you press create coach, that coach is going to receive an email directly to that email address prompting them to create a password. Once they've created a password and it's set up and it's ready to go, they can download the Output Sports app very easily. And from there, you will see them populate up here. You'll see the groups they have, and you can also edit coaches' groups. So I can add more to myself in this case, if that is the idea. And this is where you can also monitor your coaches. Now, from a coach's perspective and what that's going to look like, so if we pop up the screen, you'll see, again, it looks exactly the same. And the reason I'll know I'll have a coach level login is if I tap where that sensor is on the top right hand corner, you'll see role and it says coach. And that's how I'll know. From here, if I back out, there's a couple of tweaks and cool things about the coach login. So let's say, for example, that the organization is using the metric of Imperial, but you yourself as the coach are going to be using the metric measurement system. You can use that while your organization is still using Imperial. It doesn't take that into account and it doesn't matter. So you can use one or the other, which is quite nice. Now, instead of when I go to change an athlete, instead of me seeing hundreds upon hundreds of athletes, if that's the case, and that's how many I have in my system, I can tap this, and now I will only see the athletes, in this case 20, that are in those, for me, two specific groups. So it distills it down far more. So you'll see all the athletes who are in sports science, and you'll see all the athletes who are in the male group in this case. I can also filter by the group, and I can only ever filter by those specific groups, and it's going to distill it down even further. This goes the same for leaderboard functions, for charting, for everything similar to that. So again, a little bit less to it, but really nice to be able to distill it down. Now, if we jump out of this and we log into it via the hub, actually I should be able to do it right here. So we go to settings and we log out, and I use my details for my coach login, and I log in. You'll see a couple of different things. So you'll see far less data on the side or filters, so to speak. But again, it will only show me the athletes in that specific group. So again, from a coach's perspective, being able to distill the amount of athletes I see or data is obviously a little bit nicer, and only seeing the specific ones that I coach as opposed to everybody. This will also allow for, if you're working in an organization where specific teams don't want to see other teams' data or vice versa, this is where that coach organizational role is going to come into play, that the organizational owner or the owner of the overall output account is going to see everybody's, but the coach roles can only see their own and their own athletes' data, and it just allows for a little bit more filtering in this case. Have lots of fun with this, guys. It's our news feature, and we really hope you enjoy it.